There's a fire burning inside every founder, every investor, every leader watching this right now. A fire that's been smothered by tired borders, outdated rules, and the slow chokehold of old systems designed to keep us small. Imagine how many times a groundbreaking idea, a revolutionary company, or a bold vision has hit a wall, not because the product wasn't worth it, nor the plan flawed, but because borders, bureaucracy, and narrow thinking put shackles on true potential. The frustration of watching potential being boxed in, restricted to one country, one market, one way of thinking, it's more than just annoying. It's a pain few truly understand, but all feel deeply. The agonizing truth is that these walls are fake. They're illusions born from fear, from comfort zones, from a world desperate to keep everyone in neat little boxes. Yet the biggest mistake would be to accept those walls as permanent. Scaling a borderless company isn't just a trend. It's a lifeline thrown toward that fire inside, a way to break the dam and let your vision flow freely. But here's what no one tells you. Crossing borders is way more than selling in new markets. It's a radical shift in mindset, a blueprint that shatters the old game. And yes, it demands courage. Not just the courage to build beyond your city, your country, but the courage to tear down mental walls that say, this is too big, this is too complex. For founders who dream about domination, for investors hungry for the next big surge, and leaders craving real impact, understanding how borderless companies scale fast is the difference between burning out in the local arena and lighting a global wildfire. What's holding most people back is the old logic. Local markets first, one step at a time, cautious growth. Safe, slow, predictable. But that's a cage, one built on comfort and fear of the unknown. The truly fast scalers aren't playing it safe. They're leaping universal fences, refusing to wait for permission or perfect timing. They understand this one brutal fact. The world is not one market or many separate islands. It's one ecosystem, wired tight by technology, talent, and culture that's evolving faster than anyone predicted. When a startup launches with a borderless vision, it's not breaking into new markets. It's jumping on a ripple, growing into a tsunami, because boundaries are shifting, fragile, and ready to fall apart. Here's the catch. Going borderless means becoming fluent, not just in languages or currencies, but in the unspoken codes of global connection. It's understanding that scaling isn't about copying the same playbook into different countries. It's about adapting fast, learning relentless, and building a network where each node, each team, each local partner is empowered to own the mission, but also aligned to the ruthless collective goal of growth. This is why companies that go borderless don't just expand, they multiply. Their teams don't just collaborate, they hybridize strengths. They don't just enter markets, they disrupt narratives. This work requires leaders with a different hunger, a hunger to embrace complexity, diversity, and discomfort, because the rewards don't come from comfort zones. They come from breaking through them. One of the biggest hidden accelerators for borderless companies? Talent. Not just hiring across borders, but becoming magnetic to the best people everywhere. Because top talent doesn't want to be limited by geography. Great creators, builders, thinkers crave freedom and global purpose. When you welcome people from different cultures, mindsets, and skills into your core, your company gains a turbocharged brain power that's impossible to copy. Suddenly, the narrow funnel of local knowledge explodes into a vast reservoir of ideas, empathy, and innovation. The result? Faster decisions, smarter pivots, deeper understanding of global customers, and the ability to anticipate change before it hits. This kind of talent pool doesn't just scale your business, it scales your vision. Technology is obviously a pillar, but here's the revelation. It's not the latest app or tool that scales borderless companies fast. It's how they wield technology to enable autonomy and connection simultaneously. Borderless companies don't micromanage from a distance. They create systems that empower local teams to move at startup speed while staying aligned with a unified mission. This balance, freedom with focus, is what smokes competition stuck in slow, centralized hierarchies. Imagine a company where decision-making flows with lightning speed, not because of control, but because everyone knows the mission so deeply, so passionately, that leadership just becomes a compass, not a chokehold. This creates a vitality, a heartbeat across continents, one that no rigid structure can survive. Scaling Borderless also means rewriting the story of customer relationships. Instead of treating users in different countries as others or segments, the fastest companies treat them as one shared community with nuances, sure, but with connected needs and shared values. They build experiences that resonate across borders while celebrating local flavors, creating loyalty that's both emotional and practical. This duality, global vision infused with local soul, makes their brands not just successful, but legendary. Consumers today don't just buy products, they buy into movements, identities, and missions. Borderless companies are masters of this dance, making customers not just users, but passionate advocates who feel part of something larger than themselves. And then there's speed. The myth is that going global means slow, complicated, expensive expansion. The truth? Going borderless with the right mindset and infrastructure speeds everything up. It's like switching from a horse-drawn carriage to jet fuel. Fast scalers use global networks to test fast, fail fast, pivot fast, and their entire company moves like a well-oiled machine moving at the speed of now. The old way of building chunk by chunk in a single market feels like a glacial crawl in comparison. The secret is the combined power of distributed teams, local empowerment, and global ambition, all firing at once. Suddenly, the timeline you thought was years becomes months, and months become weeks. The game shifts from can we expand to how fast can we build the future? Here's a reality that truly hits deep. The borderless approach is a rebellion. It's a refusal to accept the narrative forced on founders and creators by legacy systems, the slow, isolated, small-scale narrative that holds companies hostage. It says loud and clear, the world's rules are only as real as you let them be. If the systems were designed to block you, you can rewrite them by rewriting how you connect, how you collaborate, and how you create. This rebellion isn't reckless, it's deliberate. It's a strategic liberation anchored in knowing exactly who you are, what you want, and who you need on your side, across borders, cultures, and traditions, to scale power beyond measure. At the core of scaling borderless companies is a simple truth. Nobody screams loud enough. It's not about chasing a global footprint. It's about creating an autonomous tribe of rare, blazing, like-minded individuals and teams who refuse to be boxed in. That's the real magic. When you align with this tribe, you tap into a network that's more than a community. It's a force multiplier for brilliance, innovation, and impact. This network crushes isolation, fuels synergy, and ignites unstoppable momentum. The era of lonely founders locked in their countries is over. The future belongs to those who choose to connect, to link arms with the rare and exceptional everywhere. Leaders desperate for fast scaling must understand. This isn't a strategy for everyone. It demands patience, vicious patience, the patience to build right relationships, to craft a culture that transcends borders, and to nurture aligned energy across time zones and languages. It requires ruthless critical thinking to question every old habit and system. It takes selective vision to pick the right people who burn with the same fire and fierce belief in what's next. The borderless company doesn't just build customers or markets. It builds sovereignty, the freedom to chart your own course no matter what walls get thrown up. Borderless scaling is the ultimate rebellion against comfort and conformity. It's saying to the world, we refuse to be small. We refuse to accept the limits of geography or the slow, steady, mediocre growth that chains so many promising companies. Instead, It demands a vision so big it scares others, a hunger so fierce it fuels sleepless nights, and a courage so raw it burns through doubt and exhaustion alike. But when that fire burns bright enough, when the network is aligned and the mission crystal clear, the Borderless company doesn't just scale, it detonates. It ignites markets, cultures, ideas, and rules until nothing looks the same again. For every founder who feels caged by borders, every investor frustrated by stagnant growth, every leader hungry for meaning and momentum, the message is crystal clear. There is no limit except the ones you accept. Imagine plugging into the right human networks, mastering the dance of autonomy and alignment, firing global talent like a laser beam, and moving with the speed of belief itself. Suddenly, your company isn't just entering markets, it's shaping new realities. The fire inside you isn't just surviving, it's roaring, unstoppable, and lighting the way for others. This is how borderless companies scale faster. This is the future waiting for the brave who dare to burn through illusions and build without walls.